Crucial signing. Jude Bellingham set to join Chelsea. Hello everyone, thank you for being part of this podcast and making a point, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've definitely got to bring you as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related right about here with me, your host, Abu KALS. As you already know that we are definitely talking about what's going to be happening in the summer transfer window. A lot has been done and a lot is definitely going on, and with the fact that a lot of money was splashed in the January transfer window, and ever since Todd Bowley took over the leadership at Chelsea, there's been a little bit of a tide with quite many clubs saying he spent quite a lot of money. FFP rules need to come in place, but he spent over 600 million ever since he joined the club, and right about now he's about to spend even much more. However, it will be remembered that with all that has been said, he's looking at selling a lot of football players, and what is in our box, what we've got to tell you right about now, we could be seeing a lot of football players leaving the club, with a lot of football players linked to an exit of the club, and that's what we're going to be seeing in the summer transfer window, so that a new set of football players can definitely come in. So Todd Bowley, who happens to be the co-owner of the club, definitely has directly engaged into direct football for the club, and he's not just sitting down and seeing how they're playing. He's going into dressing rooms and stuff, seeing everything is going on quite well for the club, and some people called him the Godfather. Anyway, let us know what you think about that, him going into the dressing rooms of the club when it's match day. Let us know what you think. But the main reason we're talking about this, what we're here for today, is actually one Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is actually a very wonderful football player. He's a great football player, and he is definitely still young. And Jude Bellingham has been linked to a number of clubs, and definitely quite a big number of clubs want him. Undoubtedly, you know the reason as to why very many clubs are interested in him, because he is a talent. He's a big football player. He's very talented, and loads of clubs definitely want this gentleman. Loads of clubs are saying this gentleman is definitely one they could have. So Chelsea's not being left aside, not being left apart, because they're saying it's time. It's high time. Some of the football players who did not perform the last season, to make sure that they can leave the club and create a room for a new era of football players, as they are looking at a reinforcement in almost all sections, because not even a single section was all right at the club, and that's what upset the co-owner Todd Bowley, and he's looking at a proper I don't know how I can call it, but he's looking at proper how can we call it? He's looking at proper sweeping. Is looking for a sweep away of very many football players who actually didn't perform. So it will be remembered that Todd Bowley was once the technical director of the club Chelsea when Marina Granovskaya was asked by himself. He asked Marina Granovskaya because Marina Granovskaya was not sharing quite a lot of information with him, and he said it was a new era with new owners, and definitely now it is yet to be another one. Anyway, looking at Jude Bellingham is definitely a wonderful one. He's a big talent. Jude Bellingham is a big talent. There's nobody who undoubtedly, I can't find anybody who can say Jude Bellingham is not a big football player. For those of you who do not know who Jude Bellingham is, Jude Victor William Bellingham is an English professional football player who plays as a midfielder for Bundesliga club Borussia Dortmund and the English national team. It will be remembered that he has been playing for Borussia Dortmund for some time, and right about now he's one of the best midfielders that you can definitely get, and the fact that many people were doubting, saying maybe possibly he's just overrated. That's what some people were saying, that Jude Bellingham could be overrated. But when he came to World Cup, he showed class and quality, and definitely that was those are some of the things that raised his price to be actually very, very high. It will be remembered that Jude Bellingham was born on the 29th June 2003, and that makes him 19 years, and definitely that is quite great. 19 years of age is still a very young boy. He's just going to get to 20 soon, and his current team is Borussia Dortmund, and that's where he's been, and also the English national team. His height is 1.86 meters, and nationality is British, and also actually he's British, yeah. He's from England. Then education, he's gone to preschool and college. Nominations is won the BBC Young Sports Personality of the Year, and siblings, we don't need to know them, do we? But he's got a young one called Job Bellingham. Anyway, I think he is a brilliant football player, and we need to see his market value and see what he can bring in comparison to what his price definitely is. Because you already know that Chelsea spending money is not their problem. So they're saying that Jude Bellingham's current transfer value is between 75 million pound to 185 actually million euros, 185 million euros. But it will be remembered that this was quite before that he was being regarded at that amount of money before, and after the World Cup, definitely his price went high to around 185, ranging from 175 to 185 million pound, because he's definitely a big talent. He's definitely a very, very, very big talent, as very many people definitely want him. So why is Jude Bellingham? We want to look at why Jude Bellingham is definitely a very valued. Why is Jude Bellingham so valued? However, with a change in head coaches at the club, he came to more play. He wanted actually more playing time. That's what they're saying here. And by the end of the season, Jude Bellingham had improved himself, ready to hold down a starting role in Borussia Dortmund midfield. As such, the most valuable English player abroad. Abroad's market value ballooned over 60 million in 2021, and that was just at the beginning. I must say that was just the beginning, but right about now he's way too high. So how much is Jude Bellingham's worth in FIFA 23? So Jude Bellingham's price on Xbox market is 28,000 coins. That's 30 minutes ago. In PlayStation is 0 coins, never ago. Anyway, and PC, that's 32,000 coins. So that's 32 minutes ago. There are 5 other versions of Jude Bellingham in FIFA 23. Check them out using the navigation. Anyway, so Jude Bellingham is definitely a wonderful one, is a great one. And what does he bring to the club? What does he definitely bring to the club? What will he bring to the club in case Todd Bowley comes to conclusion and pays in the cash, the 175, possibly there could be a bargaining 275 million pound, but it could stretch up to 185 pounds. So what could he definitely bring to the club? Well, if you've watched the World Cup, you've seen him play. If you've watched Borussia Dortmund, you can see how good he is in the midfield. He is definitely a wonderful one. He's a great football player. Undoubtedly, he can bring quite a lot to the club. But looking at how Chelsea performed last season, it should be remembered that this summer transfer window, Todd Bowley should be calculative of whom he is buying, because he's already bought almost all young talented football players, and they have not delivered. Still young. I think there must be a few football players who can be bought and can add to the club, but they are a bit old. Experience matters. Not all football players should be old. Of course, you need that gas from young ones, but young ones definitely need to be guided by the big football players, the big dogs in the game. And that's why a few football players should be signed. A few experienced football players also need to be signed. And also, the interference should stop. Todd Bowley should stop the interference with football. I personally think, as I said before, and I will say it again, I personally think that Todd Bowley is interfering quite a lot with football. I think he should just leave it as it is. He should definitely leave everything as it is and make sure that whoever players are being paid well, making sure that contracts are running quite well, but not on match day and going to a dressing room. I had a few people saying the manager should not allow him to go back to go to the dressing room again. Should not happen, and in the contract it should be written in bold capital letters that the owners should not. Again, I don't know how he even went through that. Let's see. Let's look at. Let's see. Of course, how he managed to do that is because he's the owner. Okay, it's because he's the owner. But I can't imagine some football managers you going to I can't imagine you going to a football game and football football managers. Some football managers will just not let you. They would definitely not let you. Like Thomas Tuchel, that's why he left the club. He said, "No way, I'm not remaining here." And actually, it's not leave. He was sacked. He was sacked, and that was the big reason, because he said, "No, Todd Bowley, you're not interfering with football. Stay there, just watch, and I do my job." And also, when you see the likes of Antonio Conte, you cannot do that with Antonio Conte. You've got no chance. You can't do that with Jose Mourinho. All these Chelsea football managers who've been there and attained a lot, definitely it could be hard for him to go into the dressing room and talk to the football players. Then what's, if you do that, then what's the use of the manager? It definitely puts the players off, and Kepa definitely came out and said a few things about it. But I don't think the football players also are happy about it. Anyway, that is something to talk about a full day, all day, another day. But for now, we're talking about a youngster, a talented football player, and that is none other than Jude Bellingham, who is a brilliant one. He is a great football player. He's been playing for sometimes still young, but he's played with the likes of he's played against Lionel Messi. He's played against he's played against Cristiano Ronaldo at one point in time. He's played against Mbappe. He's got quite big experience with big football players and big clubs. Age is just a number to him. He's still young, but he's got quite big experience, and also he is willing to learn new things. He adapts quite well. One of the reasons as to why he could be moving, and there is a bit of competition for him. It will be remembered that Liverpool want him, and formerly they had said no, they are not going, because they're not going to have him because he has insane figures of money that are placed onto him. If you want him, you have to pay quite a lot of money. And then Manchester United also was interested in the latest football club that has joined the race is Real Madrid, wanting this gentleman. But Real Madrid could be out of the picture. If he goes to Europe, he could end up in Real Madrid, but the chances of him going to Europe, remaining in Europe, are definitely very low. So the chance of him coming to the Premier League are definitely quite high, and this is because he's himself has said he's played abroad. And right about now he's looking at playing football at home soil, and that's where that's England, and that's where clubs are definitely fighting for him, and are looking at Arsenal had a few something a little bit to say about him. They wanted him, but I don't think Arsenal can afford him, because Arsenal is not known for spending more than 100 million euros, 100 million pound in in the summer transfer window on just one player. That's not them. However, Manchester City has come out and said they will give him whatever it takes for them to sign him. They will give him whatever they want, whatever amount of money he wants. But you'll remember that Manchester City also has been facing charges with FFP rules, and right about now, they might think twice before they buy an expensive football player. However, Chelsea could be facing the same, but there's still gap for Chelsea to sell and buy. Anyway, I think it's gonna be massive. I think it's gonna be good, and you can let us know what you definitely think in the comment section about Jude Bellingham and him joining the club. And make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell as we tell you thank you and goodbye for now.